Hello friends and welcome to Parks Crafty Creations. I'm your host Brian Parks, and today we're making a super handy little project perfect for Thanksgiving. Quilt-As-You-Go hot pads. Before we jump in, if you enjoy this content, be sure to give us a like down below, as it really does help out the channel. Do it now please, and if you're new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell icon so you'll always be notified whenever a new video drops. And hey, if you love what we do here, be sure to share us with your friends. Now that the housekeeping is out of the way, let's jump in. With all of the casseroles, pies, and hot dishes that hit the table this time of year, a few extra hot pads or pot holders are definitely a lifesaver in the kitchen. These are fast, fun, and beginner friendly. No perfect measuring needed, which makes these a lot of fun for kids or grandkids to help with. And they make wonderful hostess or holiday gifts too. So, grab your scraps and let's get started. For this project, you'll need a piece of Insul-Bright or other insulated lining, a layer of cotton batting, some fabric for the backing, fabric scraps for the front. I'm using cozy fall colors and prints for Thanksgiving, and a binding strip about 2.5 inches wide by 42 inches long. You'll also need your rotary cutter, acrylic ruler, scissors, and some clips or pins. I've already pressed my binding strips in half, wrong sides together, so it's ready to go. For fabric, this is a perfect project to use up those leftover autumn-themed scraps. Or, if you're anything like our family, we've already started to move into decorating for Christmas. So, those vibrant Christmas reds and greens are starting to make their way out into our decor. For this method, we're going to start by putting together a little bit of a sewing sandwich. We're going to lay down our backing fabric, wrong side up. Then we'll place our Insul-Bright right side down as well. The right side is the side with the reflective material on it. I've been using this for years, and I'll be honest, sometimes when I get it, it's really hard to tell which side is which. So, if that's the case with yours as well, just check really carefully. One side is usually at least a little shinier than the other. Then we're going to place our batting on top of that. And we'll clip all of these layers together along the edge. If you don't have clips, you can use pins, but I find clips hold these layers together a bit easier. We'll be sewing directly onto the batting. Your first fabric piece needs to be a square, but there's no set size that it has to be. 2.5 or 3 inches would be fine. Especially if you have any smaller scraps, this is a great place to make use of them. Lay your first fabric piece right in the center of the batting. Again, no need to measure, just eyeball it. Heck, you could even purposefully offset it from the center for a unique asymmetrical look if that's your jam. Once we have the entire surface covered, we'll be trimming it down to our final size anyways. Then, take your next strip, place it right sides together along the edge, and stitch it together with a 1/4 inch seam. Pro tip, if you have a walking foot, now is the perfect time to break that bad boy out to help prevent all of our layers from shifting. And as an artistic note, most everyone tends to use matching top and bobbin threads, but you could use contrasting thread here if you want your stitching to pop and you're confident enough with sewing your lines. Maybe you have a green backing fabric, you could use red bobbin thread to make those stitches pop and give it a fun texture. But maybe you use a black or a white thread on the top, something more neutral since you're using all kinds of fabrics on the top. This really is a great project to experiment with and just have some fun matching and mismatching colors, patterns, and textures with. Now, we'll flip it open and give it a light press just to fold open that piece. You can also add a few quilting lines if you'd like. That's not really my thing personally, so I'm going to keep mine a little cleaner. Then repeat. Add, sew, flip, and quilt until you've covered the whole square. Have some fun with this. It's a great time to play with color placement. Mix warm tones for a Thanksgiving feel, or go scrappy for a cozy patchwork look. How pretty is that? Once your block is filled, give it a trim to about 8.5 inches square. Don't worry if it's not perfect. These are meant to be fun and functional, and the patchwork look gives you some leniency. It's really not supposed to be perfect. Now, let's add a hanging loop so these can be stored on a hook when not in use, or hung in the kitchen for a cute decorative touch. Cut a strip about 2 inches by 4 inches. Fold in the sides, then fold in half and stitch it closed. Fold it into a loop and clip it to one corner of your pot holder. And stitch it in place. Now, we'll bind the edges just like a mini quilt to finish off all of these raw edges. If you haven't seen my video on binding, specifically on how to get your ends to finish perfectly every time, I'll add a link up in the corner here and down in the description so you can check that out. Flip your hot pad over, fold the binding to the back, and you can either stitch close to the edge on your sewing machine or slip stitch for a perfectly polished finish, which is how I like to do my own binding. Take your time around the corners, and when you're done, give it a quick press. There you have it. Your Thanksgiving hot pad is complete. And isn't it lovely? Perfectly cozy and ready for Thanksgiving dinner. They're practical, pretty, and perfect for protecting your table or your hands from all of those hot dishes, or for gifting to the Thanksgiving host. This is also a great method if you have a large or awkwardly sized casserole dish. You can adjust the size of your fabric pieces and custom make one perfectly sized to whatever you need it to be to protect your tabletop. Thanks so much for sewing with me today. If you enjoyed this project, please give it a thumbs up down below, as it really does help out our channel. And if you're new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell icon so you won't miss out on our upcoming sewing projects and holiday ideas. Thanks for sewing with me today. I've been Brian Parks for Parks Crafty Creations. Happy sewing, and we'll see you next time.